Buckeye Cast. The brotherhood, playing for the guy next to you, playing for the team.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast.
Buckeye Cast. Tradition of Ohio State, we take that serious.
These fellas were born and bred in the Buckeye State.
Buckeye Cast. The people of Ohio, we work every day to make them proud.
Visit us at thebuckeyecast.com and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Buckeye Cast.
Buckeye Cast.
Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
I'm proud to be part of this group. Go Bucks!
What's up, Buckeye Nation? Crack a cold one. Take a seat. The Buckeye Cast is back. We got you. We're back in our weekly groove now. Going forward through the season, you're going to have to plan on locking it into the Buckeye Cast. Right, Shawn?
Yes, sir.
All right. We got to get you ready for the season, and then we'll do our weekly shows. And next week we'll be doing a pregame show. It'll be our first one for week one.
Oh, it's going to be nice.
Yeah.
I'm ready for, you get me within 2 weeks, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. I want to see what we got.
Yep. So I got a cold drink right here, and I'm going to lock it in, strap it in here for an hour or so. We're going to break down the 2019 schedule. We're going to run through each game. I think we did this recently, but we're going to do it a little bit more thoroughly. And we're also going to do a 2-deep / kind of 3-deep, depending on how deep you want to go tonight.
Balls deep.
Clank, clank. So let's. What do you want to start with? You want to do a 2-deep first before we get into the season?
Yeah, let's go through the 2-deep. So then, when we can know who the guys are going to be that are going to go through the schedule, and when and where they might see some significant playing time. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, folks, don't forget to visit thebuckeyecast.com. Still got that 20% off code that's good for you. TBCSS20, TBCSS20. That's your coupon code. Use that at checkout. Get 20% off your order. And we have a t-shirt giveaway coming up this week. You have to follow us on Twitter, though. So, Shawn, you're out. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you have to follow us on Twitter and watch for our tweet. The first 3 to retweet my tweet get a t-shirt. Any t-shirt on the site. That's a $35 value, folks. So
that's quality shirt, folks.
That's right. Tri-blend all up in your ass. So let's get started here. Let's fucking go. Depth chart, Shawn. Let's start at the most important position on the field, the quarterback. You thought I was going to say punter, didn't you?
I did.
I think we're solidified there. If our punter ever got hurt, though, dude, we'd be so fucked. I wouldn't even want to see what happened. I couldn't imagine our kicker going back there, or Fields or somebody. Could you imagine that shit? All right, early sidetrack.
Well, hopefully we're not going to need him that much this year.
Yeah. Sorry, I got sidetracked there real quick early on. It's already going off the rails.
I know it.
So here's what we got at the quarterback position. Fields, Chugs, and Hoke is my lineup right now. And Hoke, really, I put him at the number 3 slot because he just hasn't been in Columbus for very long, at least on campus, So he's just behind the 8 ball learning the offense. We have in the worst kept secrets department, we have a QB announcement coming tomorrow, Monday. Today is Sunday. So who do you think is going to be announced as a starting quarterback, Shawn?
I'm thinking Chugs. Might edge out Fields. Obviously, Fields is going to be the starter. If not, Vegas put odds on that. It's got to be 100-1 that Fields is starting the first game.
I haven't found it, but I would have taken it.
Right. So Fields is going to be our guy. This position, the depth, it just worries the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know if any of these guys can play. I haven't seen any of them play.
Yeah, we saw a few snaps from Chugs last year. You know, mop-up time against Rutgers and shit like that.
Yeah, but and there's some film with Fields and whatnot, and Hoke's played in the past, but I just don't. I don't like where we're sitting right now with that. It's to me the biggest area of concern. It's to me
the backup,
if and the starter. Frankly, hopefully we got 3 great guys that can play that position.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping we got one.
Yeah.
And that one can stay healthy through a season.
Yeah, I think this is not really.
To me,
a secret.
It's where everything lies. And if these guys are capable, we could be a special team. If they go through, if Justin Fields goes through like first year starter, a lot of pressure, big games, Big Ten games, they're not easy. The weather's oftentimes doesn't cooperate. This is, if he's not ready for it, this is how you lose 3 games in a year.
Yeah.
So it's to me the biggest area of concern on the field.
Yeah, well, I'll sprinkle in throughout this little depth chart segment. I'll sprinkle in some of Ryan Day's comments, and when we get to the defense, I'll use some of Madison's comments. That cookie old freak. That guy Madison bothers me. Does he bother you? Have you seen him talk? It's like talking to the old guy on the Munsters. He's just weird. He's a little off, and he doesn't really give you a lot of info. But anyway, we'll get to him. We'll get to the airmen in a minute. So Day said in regard to the quarterback position that he hopes to name a starting quarterback Monday. They did have, I think Saturday, they had a scrimmage not open to the media. So this kind of follows Day's plan. He wanted to be able to name somebody by week 2 of camp. And it's the final week of camp. So then they start game mode. He said he's pleased with the strides that Fields has made over the last couple days. He said Fields is smart. He knows. Excuse me, I had some bad tacos for dinner, man. Jesus, this place is awful. So I got a little indigestion going here.
Oh, that'll happen.
I'm trying to tamper it down with a little alcohol. Doesn't seem to be working yet. He said that Fields is smart and knows when he should pass the ball, when he should run. So no great info there other than tomorrow will be the official announcement, and everybody can go back to
well, it was pretty much done to just light a fire under Fields' ass, right? It's like, okay, right. Brought you in here, you're going to be the guy.
Yeah. Nothing's given. Nothing's given. Everything's earned.
No, but his upside's too good to hold back. But again, even if he is the guy that we all think he can be and will be, if he goes down, fuck. I hope this Gunner or Chugs can do the deal.
They just got to be serviceable, really. I mean, to get through the bulk of our schedule, you really just have to be serviceable, And obviously you have to rely on the run a lot more, So, leaning into the running backs, Dobbins obviously is the bell cow. Followed up. This is the interesting position, I think, one of the most interesting on the team, and that's the backup running back. Who's going to get those carries to spell Dobbins when he's tired and keep some of the heat off of Fields so that Fields doesn't have to run it 10 times a game or more, I got my money on Crowley. Teague has been banged up in camp, and DeMario was banged up in the spring, been banged up throughout his career, honestly, and in and out of the doghouse with Herb over the last couple of years. So I don't think DeMario is a viable backup running back, and he's still working with working with the receivers lately. So I don't see them using him as the backup running back. So I'm going Crowley and maybe Teague, and that's subject to change.
Well, I mean, to me, that's definitely the way it's going right now. I think it's probably Teague's spot, but Teague's been banged up and can't really go. I think we'll see Teague. I think, on our last podcast, I don't know if it was before or after, but I feel like we talked about, they said, hey, DeMar needs to go become that number 2 running back. And then I saw from you that, I don't know if it's official or some other report that he was working with the wide receivers again, which means that he didn't get that number 2 running back spot. Unless they're just so impressed with D-Mac that they're like, look, he needs the ball in space, and
I agree with that concept. He's not a between the tackles runner. He's not a 215, not even 210 guy. He's like 190, 195. It's like trying to run Dontre Wilson. I know we've used that comparison before with Dontre. You can't run in between the tackles.
But the few times he's actually done a good job. Now I don't think he can do it. I don't think you can do it 20 times a game. Like if Dobbins were to go out and he had to be your guy, no, I don't think he could. He couldn't be a bell cow like that.
Right.
But he can do 10 from the back, between the tackles a game, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to see an increase
and be effective.
Yeah, I think we're going to see an increase in Dobbins' workload, obviously because Mike Weber's no longer here. So Dobbins was in the 17, 18 carries a game last year on average. I think we're going to see that up over 20, 22 maybe. And so you're going to need somebody to get a 5 to 10 carry per game kind of load in there. And Fields, I'm sure, will get at least 5 a game because they're going to run zone reads here and there,
I'm with you, though. I think, pretty much all we got back there is Crowley and Teague, right?
Yeah,
I think they're both good running backs.
Still Chambers is the freshman. He just got his black stripe off recently. So
I do like Steel Chambers.
Yeah, he's a beast. Thing with Teague, though, he's almost too much of a big dude. He runs upright, whereas Crowley, I think, gives you more big play ability. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, the spring game. Yeah, fucking relax with the spring game. Teague, I know, had a breakaway run for 30 yards or something for a touchdown. BFD. That doesn't count. I think Crowley is the guy. He's the one I'm hanging my hat on. He's got his black stripe off already, so he's officially a Buckeye. And we all know that you don't play unless you get your black stripe off.
Well, no doubt about that. You're not playing if you still got the black stripe. But Teague, again, I think he's been out a lot of this camp. And that's the only thing holding him back. I think it's, unless Crowley shows some major improvement, I think that's still Teague's job when he comes back.
Well, we'll see. Like I said, this is subject to change because maybe Crowley is the go-to guy early on while Teague is healing, and then maybe...
But if Crowley shows flashes, then it's his.
Right.
That's the way it goes.
Right. But maybe Teague is the guy in November, Who knows? We'll see how things evolve, but I'm going Crowley for my backup running back.
I don't know. I look at Teague and I think he's going to be, next Carlos Hyde. Just never lose yards. It's always, boom.
Yeah.
You need 2 yards, he's going to get you 2 yards.
Yeah, he's a house. He's a fucking full house. And pair to spare. What's that saying? Pair and a spare? Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to tight ends while I get my analogies all jumbled. Tight ends. This is one of the deepest groups, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You got Luke Farrell. Kid's shown the ability to be a hammer on the O-line. He can block like a mother and can get downfield and make catches. He'll drop 1 or 2 a game, that's to be sure. But then you got Rashad Berry, the freakiest dude on the team. Jeremy Ruckert. We're going to see this guy flexed out in some almost an H-back kind of role. And then you got Jake Hausman. He's a highly touted guy. Really hasn't even seen the field yet.
Yeah, I like where we're sitting at tight end for sure.
Yeah.
And I think those first two guys you mentioned to be good, but I'm really anxious to see Ruckert. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be special. But I always think we get good tight ends, and sometimes I think we underuse them. So
yeah, every year in preseason, the head coach always says, whether it's Tressel or Urban or whoever, this is the year we're going to use a tight end.
Yeah.
Poor bastards get that. They get that one little carrot early in preseason, and that's it.
And then they still get a good recruit the next year.
Right. I think, but we've got like three very different types of tight ends here. Farrell is kind of big dude, good hands. Barry is not a good receiver at all, but he will hit you. And then Ruckert is more of like he played receiver in high school, so he's more of that smaller.
What's his weight up to?
That's a good question. I really don't know, but I know he's put on pounds, but he's still tall and kind of sleek, so he's going to get down the seam, and create some matchup nightmares for either a linebacker or a safety, because he's way bigger than a safety. I'll do some homework.
I mean, you think with the new quarterback, tight end can be a young quarterback's best friend.
Oh yeah, especially on those drag routes and seam routes, right over the middle. Yeah, for sure.
He stays in, blocks a little, checks off, and a little dump.
Yeah, but again, you got like a lot of experience there. Barry being the senior, I believe. Farrell's.
Yeah.
Farrell's up there. Let me double check that for you. Yeah, Barry, senior, Hausman and Farrell are juniors. We haven't even seen Jake Hausman. I can't tell you what he looks like or his number. And, of course, Ruckert's a true sophomore.
He was a huge recruit. Hausman was recruited higher than Farrell.
Yeah, I know. Those two guys were redshirted, so they got plenty of time left. But I see Ryan Day using Ruckert as more of like an H, not a slot necessarily, but more of a receiver type than a tight end. Flexed off the line. So
I think Ryan Day is going to be better than Herb at X's and O's and using your talent to matchups.
Oh yeah, and bringing better pass concepts and routes to the offense. Herb's focus was the QB run and the option and thing like that. He didn't really give a shit about strong arms and route concepts, mesh routes and shit like that, like we see Ryan Day bringing to the offense. So yes, this is a new day for the Buckeye offense, as we've seen kind of evolve over the last years.
I think you got a good taste of it last year.
Yep.
It was Day's show last year. I mean, Meyer's CEO, and love me some Urban Meyer, please stay in Columbus.
Yeah.
But Meyer was more of an inspirational manager. Now, I hope Day could get that leadership inspiration thing that Meyer's got going for him. I mean, Meyer's got some mad mojo, man.
Oh yeah, it's hard to replicate that.
It is. So maybe what you can't, what Dave doesn't have in that yet, and you're not just born with that. I mean, maybe partially, but you win a couple national championships and have a couple undefeated seasons. You get a little swagger about you, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get started on that shit, Day.
Yeah, get some rings. So yeah, moving on to the receivers. This is another deep area. Some experience. We got a really weird mix of youth and experience but the experience really has not converted much, And by that I mean Ben Vick, Austin Mack. These are guys that have shown, flashes of greatness at times. They've also shown flashes of mediocrity, like Ben Vick, for all the fucking tools that he has to work with and talent. It's really underrated. I mean, under played.
I don't know that one play he made.
Yeah, see, that's all you can go to.
But you know what? That's worth it. That's worth it.
He's a senior, though, dude.
Yeah, but he's been in a crowded thing. Ben Vick is going to be just fine. He's flashed. Austin Mack's one of the toughest guys we got. I put KJ, Austin Mack, and Ben Victor in the same light that I do the guys that just left us.
Who's
McLaren and
who's your Terry McLaurin in this group?
My Terry McLaurin and Austin Mack's the closest to Terry McLaurin in the group.
Okay.
Austin Mack is a tough kid, makes tough catches, plays hard, blocks.
Mm-hmm.
He probably doesn't have McLaren's speed.
Right.
But Austin Mack, when he's in there, plays his butt off, I feel.
Yeah. I'm talking about consistency, and that TCU game for Austin Mack was like night and day, like just a nightmare, man. Like, first drive, he catches a 50-yard bomb, sets up a touchdown, or I think it was a field goal, actually. They couldn't punch it in. Then he goes on to drop like 4 in a row, So, anyway, this receiving core is, here's what I got for you.
But there was another game where I think he even got hurt. Mac went up and freaking caught a crazy catch on the sideline. There's no way he's going to come down hard. Came down on the back of his helmet. I think concussed. Mac just...
Yeah. Well, he had the catch in 2017 from Dwayne against the team up north to set up the score. So, yeah. Mac is tough. I'm not taking that away from him. I just want consistency, man. So here's what I got. At the X, I got Ben Vick, and then behind him, this is a really exciting matchup for this rotation, because they're going to rotate 6 or 7 guys. I think Day just mentioned that too.
They always do 6. They always got to back up the number 2. The number 3 is going to see the field.
Right.
3 deep sees the field. Number 2 sees a lot of the field.
Yeah, Ryan Day said on the possibility of Mack and Victor both starting at outside receiver, he said that both those guys deserve to be on the field at the same time, and he reiterated that the Buckeyes want to have 6 or 7 receivers in the rotation. So
I mean, we did last year.
Yeah.
And that seems to work out.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think not only do we have Heartline out there, but the way that Ohio State runs their offense, you can get in there and be a Wilson. You're gonna see serious minutes.
Yeah.
For your first year.
Look at Olave. In November,
Yeah.
he was. I can't think of a bigger receiver in November. He had a touchdown against Michigan State, and then 2 and a block punt against Michigan.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't think of a receiver that had a bigger month. So anyway, as far as the X receiver goes, I got Ben Vick. Then behind him, this is the matchup or the competition that I'm really interested in. That's Garrett Wilson, the incoming freshman, and Jalen Harris. This is going to be huge, I think. Both these guys are talented, obviously. Garrett Wilson, though, has shown flashes in spring and in fall camp. I'm really excited to see this kid on the field.
I'm with you. He's going to get on that field. he's probably got the most upside of any receiver on the entire roster. And in a year or two, he's going to be a complete stud.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's going to be on the field. Jalen Harris, I pull for that kid too.
Cleveland kid.
And again, if you're number 3, and the way that Mac and Vic seem to miss a few games throughout the year,
yeah,
I think he's going to get some chances too.
Oh yeah, yeah. This will be his.
Wilson's not going to play. Wilson's not going to be on the team for 5 years, so you might as well just start playing him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't plan on redshirting him this year either.
Yeah.
At the Z, we got Mac starting there. This is subject to change too because Mac can play both X and Z positions. So, if obviously, if injuries take place, guys are going to move around and they're somewhat interchangeable. But behind Mac is Olave. Ryan Day the other day said about Olave that he's practicing right now at a starter level, and we think he's an every down receiver. Duh. See Michigan game. That's my addition to the quote. But
really, and who's on his heels there?
You got the freshman, Jamison Williams. I'm excited about this kid. Nobody's talking about him, but he's shown some. He's got his black stripe off, number 1 already, and he's shown some serious. This dude's big, man. Shown some serious flashes. Not Garrett Wilson, maybe not to that level, but
he's fast. He's fast too,
and he's big. Yeah, he reminds me of like a Michael Irvin, but faster. And he's a fucking dog out there. And you got Elijah Gardner. Can't forget about this kid. Plucked him out of the sticks down in Texas a few years ago. He's just kind of losing his eligibility as we move along, honestly. He's a sophomore right now. He was redshirted, so it's 3rd year in the program. We'll see what happens. He just hasn't really... I forgot about him, honestly. I haven't seen the kid anywhere. He's on a milk carton.
No, I bet you'll see that C.J. Saunders get in there.
Yeah, at the H, you got KJ, Jalen Gill, and C.J. Saunders.
Oh, Slayton Saunders for the H?
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think this should be CJ's last year. He's a senior.
But we just got done doing the running backs, and it looks like DeMario's. So does DeMario getting inserted into this wide receiver group change what the hell we're talking about? I think it would maybe at the H.
Yeah. Yeah, you can insert him in there at some point. I'm anxious to see Jalen Gill on the field. Still haven't seen this kid.
I know it.
He was dinged up when he came into Ohio State, and he's been dinged up since. Redshirt freshman. Just getting his weight up last year really was the key. He had to put on some pounds to be able to play in big time football. So I'm really curious though. He's shown some flashes in fall practice. I saw him in the spring game. I think he had some catches. They were kind of targeting him from the offensive point of view. So, yeah, I think he's going to be a weapon. And unfortunately, it kind of might dig into DeMario's touches.
I agree. I mean, we've seen what DeMario can do with the ball, and we're all impressed and don't understand why he can't get it more, except when he's dropping kicks and shit. But
yeah, kickoffs off your shin isn't a good thing.
We'll see.
Yeah.
If DeMario can't get it this year, is he done? Is he
One more year.
Junior?
One more year. Yeah, he's a junior. Seems like he's been there forever.
Well, and I mean, so we're talking about the depth on this group. The depth is just fine as far as I'm concerned. I'm not worried about it at all. I the one that can't go down, the most important guy to me is KJ. I think he's going to be just a solid stud for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
definitely.
Not that Jalen Gill isn't going to be awesome, but just that experience, that toughness.
Yep.
And I think there was a quote even months back that Dave was like, "Yeah, we need KJ Hill to play like a upperclassman. We expect a lot out of him. He needs to produce."
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, I think that H position is one of the most interesting because there's so many options behind KJ, that we haven't seen yet, But offensive line, I'll go left to right. Let me know what you think about this starting five. Left to right tackle, you got Munford. He's really the only returning starter. His back is healed up. He's doing fine in practice. He's back. He was high in his reps, so they held him out along with the back injury and stuff. But anyway, got Munford at the tackle. Jonah Jackson, the incoming Rutgers transfer, at left guard. Josh Myers at center. That guy's a fucking dude. Wyatt Davis at right guard. Technically didn't start all last year, but got plenty of playing time, played in the bowl game, etc. And then Brandon Bowen, he's been battling NPF for that right tackle job, and it's neck and neck right now. Obviously, NPF is the 5-star 2018 kid, but Bowen is, the fifth-year guy, 2 years removed from that leg injury when he actually won that guard position, the right guard job, and then broke his leg.
Right.
So that's my starting five across the board. What do you think?
No, I agree with that. I think it's going to be solid as long as Mumford is good to go.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not, who's behind him?
Here's the second team left to right. You got Alibi backing up Munford. You got Matt Jones at left guard. Freshman Harry Miller. This guy's impressed everybody on the team.
Yeah.
At center.
What about him?
That's a big deal to bring a freshman in at center. Gavin Cupp at right guard. And then Nicholas Petitfriere at right tackle, who's pushing for the starting job there.
Right.
So a lot of depth there, the way I see it. Except center, I would listen to that argument. But Harry Miller, that kid's so fucking smart, and he was on his charity tour down in not charity tour, I guess. He was on a mission down in Nicaragua this year, and he was doing FaceTiming with Coach Stud to learn the correct calls for protection calls, and
I heard about that.
Yeah, and they were showing he was showing Coach Stud his workouts and stuff. So he stayed in very close contact with the coaches, and no worries there. This kid has got it down pat.
And I think Myers, the guy that's ahead of him, said, "Oh my gosh, this fucking guy is out of his mind."
Yep. Yeah. All the offensive linemen.
Saying, I mean, they were like, he's like, I've just kind of got to where he's at like this year.
Yeah.
Like, this kid is like on it.
Yep. Yeah, he's coming in. Yeah, he's ready made.
I love the potential of this O-line. This could be a great and deep O-line.
Mm-hmm.
But it's unproven.
Exactly.
And that's the only thing. But still, all these guys have been in the year. or been in the program for a couple years, or been, played some serious football.
Yeah.
Even the kid from Rutgers that's coming over.
He's been in all Big Ten.
Bowen was a starter before he got hurt, like you said. So it's like you got Alibi if he needs to get in there and relieve Mumford.
Yep.
Alibi's been in the thing. I got no problem playing Alibi.
Yep. You're going to see the second team early in the season against teams like FAU, Cincinnati, Miami. These early non-cons. You're going to see the second team O-line in there early because it's going to be fucking hot. It's end of August, early September. These guys are going to need a break. You can't play a starting O-line for 4 quarters if you don't have to.
Right.
So
you better not have to.
Yeah.
I want to see that third string in there.
Exactly. Yeah, we haven't even gotten into those guys. Plus, this 2020 class is fucking loaded from top to bottom. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, this O-line, I know they haven't played together as a unit much at all, but right now is when they need to get that kind of cohesion, and kind of work together and
that nastiness. I want a nasty O-line.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I feel good about it though, especially with the quality depth. If somebody will go down at some point, and I feel good about the depth behind them.
I do too.
Let's flip the football and
really at any of those positions.
It's quality depth. It's not just a dude that might be okay, but I don't feel like there's a weak link in there. So flipping over to the D line, left to right. Here's what I got from my starting 4.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Yeah.
Last thing on the O line. So, can you foresee that it does appear to be damn near too deep across the whole O line, and that's not a position that you flip a lot like we're going to get into with the D line. Do you see, that starting lineup changing throughout the year? Some guys don't make it. Hey, all right, Bowen, you're not the guy. Petit, Puri, by the time 3rd or 4th game rolls around, he's the guy.
Good, yeah. I say all positions are subject to change if the starter's not getting the job done. I think they're all up for movement, There's some freshmen we really didn't get into, and guys like Kevin Woidke, a redshirt senior. He's not in the too deep, in my opinion. And Ryan Jacoby, he's a highly touted freshman out of Mentor. You got Enoch Vamahi out of Hawaii. These guys are freshmen. Haven't been on campus much, so can't really say what their abilities are. Same with that DeJuan Jones, the freak from Indianapolis. 6'8", 360 now. His body has got to get in shape, I'm sure. He's not a slob, but he just needs to get stronger. He can't just be big out there. You got Max Ray.
I see him dunk.
I know.
I see the big man dunk.
Don't put a fucking hoop above the D line. He'll go to the hole. So yeah, there's these freshmen, but
anyway, just
yeah,
it's going to be tough for a freshman to start. I mean,
yeah,
it was the last 2 that did it. We had Jackson or Michael Jordan and Orlando Pace.
Right
before that, right?
Yeah, that's not something you want though, typically, because their bodies are still getting adjusted. Typically they don't come in ready.
But the one that has a chance this year is that backup center though.
Harry Miller for sure. Yeah. Yep, he's the only one I would feel good about out of that freshman group.
Right.
So yeah, definitely
right,
subject.
On.
Yeah, subject to change because you're going to have injuries. Somebody's going to get hurt, And so that means one of those freshmen might have to slide up into the 2 deep, and be a backup for a starter. Very possible. So, D-line, left to right, here's what I got. Chase Young, Devon Hamilton, Shawn Cornell, and then Jonathan Cooper. Pretty obvious there. These guys are all experienced juniors and seniors, don't really see much deviation from this outside of injury, of course.
Well, that doesn't even matter. It's so deep here. And these guys are, the only people that rotate in more than the wide receivers are the D linemen.
Right. Yep. There's some serious depth here. Ryan Day said that he's been impressed with Chase Young's maturity and how he's practicing in camp, and he calls him the voice of the defense. So Chase Young has kind of stepped up and become that kind of captain type material.
Good.
Which he really wasn't and hasn't been, No,
he let his locks do the talking.
Yeah, that's right. Fucking predator. What else you need to know? So, yeah, and then back up our second team D-line. I got Tyler Friday.
And me going across the D-line. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Robert Landers and Tommy Togiai, kind of both behind Davon. And behind Shawn, you got Teron Vincent, the young guy, and Haskell Garrett, the experienced guy, both kind of fighting for that position. Then on the other end, behind Cooper, you got Tyreek Smith. And again,
who's a beast.
Yeah, I did a couple slash positions in there because there's 2 guys that could really fill in, behind these guys. There's just so much depth and experience, not just young guys.
Well, you got, I just read 11 Warriors. Antoine Jackson, he's practicing at both 3 and nose tackle, 3 technique and nose tackle.
Yeah.
So he's going to add depth to either side. We're going to have fresh D-line whenever we want it.
Yep.
Whenever you want it, you got fresh legs.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked about Javonte Jean-Baptiste. He's still developing physically and mentally. And Zach Harrison. Can he crack the fucking lineup as a true freshman,
I don't think Zach Harrison's going to be here for 5 years. So I don't know why he wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see him playing 4 games. I'm not sure he plays over 4. Just because I see them getting his body ready, hitting Coach Mick for a season and still playing 4 games, But unless he really flashes in those 4 games, I'd be surprised if he doesn't redshirt. But we'll see. Chase Young didn't redshirt,
I think Tyreek Smith's going to be the surprise out of nowhere this year on that D-line. I think he's going to have himself a year.
Yep. I think he's in that role. I like Tyler Friday at the other end, too.
And Coop, my boy Coop needs to wake up. Coop can be a total freaking stud this year.
Yeah, another highly ranked guy. Him and Shawn Cornell, both 5-star guys, really haven't lived up to the hype. But we see this a lot, especially on defense.
Yeah.
So, linebackers, this is the most controversial position, I would say, right? I mean, this is the one that got all the negative fan mail last year. Here's what I got. We
justly deserved,
Yeah, I would blame coaching and scheme over talent.
I would as well.
Because the talent's
there. Well, definitely. Everyone knows the talent's there. Yeah. It's got to be something.
And Tuff's injury on top of that. That I think might have been the biggest issue, along with pulling the linebackers up to the line of scrimmage idea. Those 2 are the worst things that happened to us on defense last year. Tuff coming back too early because he's tough there, and then bringing the linebackers up to the line of scrimmage. Two worst things that could have happened to us last year. We were so fucked. So here's what I got. Weak side, the strong side. I got weak side. Malik. Obviously, that dude doesn't come off the field. Tough in the middle. And then Pete Werner on the strong side. Slash.
So
we'll call that bullet.
The same three.
Exactly, yep. I call the strong side kind of the bullet because you're going to see a rotation of Werner, B. White, and Jocelyn Wint. And it really depends on, the package that they want to bring in there against the offense's package,
Right. If it's, I hear you. If it's kind of a pass down, keep Werner in there. If it's definitely a pass down, put in White or Wint. Someone the better. It's going to be. It'll be interesting to see how they work that.
Yeah, if they bring in 3 and 4 wides, then you got to obviously adjust.
Right, but I just don't know how you keep Taraja Mitchell and Baron Browning off the field.
Agreed. Yep, and they're going to be in the rotation for sure. That was my second team linebacker crew. I got Kayvon Pope behind Malik, and then I got Taraja, Baron Browning in the middle, and then strong side / bullet, I got Brendan White and Jocelyn Wint behind Werner. That creepy old guy, Madison, did say that Mike and Will linebacker positions are interchangeable, so there could be situations where 2 of them are on the field. Okay. Okay. And then you got, he also said that Malik, Browning, and Werner have seen the most snaps in practice when they have a 2 linebacker nickel package on the field. So that means you're putting your best 2 linebackers on the field when you're bringing in a 5th DB. So you got Malik. I don't, like I said, he should never come off the field. Then you got either Browning or Werner, because you're going to be in a coverage kind of scheme. So that makes a lot of sense to me. The old guy's not crazy on that one.
Yeah.
Disagree?
I don't know. Well, it's not that I disagree. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. It's an unknown. I've got some really good players there, and maybe those starters are better than they played last year. But speaking of 5-star guys that didn't pan out, Justin Hilliard's on that side of the ball. You didn't even name him in the 2 deep. 5-star kid.
Oh, he's injured. He's out.
Is he injured again?
He's out for the year.
Hilliard's out for the year again?
Yep.
So his career's over?
Yep.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Dallas Gant, I heard a lot about that guy.
Yeah, he'll be in the rotation at some point. Just don't know when. Because they're so deep there, and you're bringing a couple safeties into the rotation now. So, yeah, I want to see Gant on the field for sure, 419 guy. So, I just don't know when.
Kayvon Pope,
Yeah.
How does he get on the field?
Yeah, he's behind Malik. He might be ahead of Gant, really. So we'll see.
You think if Malik went out, they wouldn't put Taraja or Baron Browning out there?
They could, like the old man said, the Mike and the Will linebacker positions are interchangeable. So if they had to, yeah, they could rotate in, like Browning over to the Will linebacker spot. That would make most sense.
I think that's what they do.
Yeah. Depends on what Pope's doing, If Pope's fucking up, then, yeah, we'll see. I think you move Baron Browning over because of his experience. Moving to safeties, this is an interesting one to me. Obviously, you got B. White and Wint moving down to the bullet, which is more at the line of scrimmage. But so you got Jordan Fuller at the field safety, but behind him, you got this freak Josh Proctor. I keep hearing so much about. We see flashes of him on those videos that Ohio State puts out. He had 2 picks in a practice. And then Isaiah Pryor right there, too. I know Pryor had a not-so-great year last year to start the season at safety. Took some bad angles. Again, maybe it was scheme. I don't know. But that looked like just bad angles to me. You can't scheme that. But I keep hearing Proctor needs to get on the field.
I'm hearing all this good stuff about Proctor too. What is he? Is he just a redshirt freshman, or is he a sophomore? He's got a lot of upside.
True sophomore. He played in a lot of special teams last year, so he probably played more than 4 games.
True sophomore. I like it.
Yeah.
Kid wasn't gonna be redshirted. It's like he's valuable enough to make it. Of course, he started a game or two, didn't he?
I don't recall him starting. I'm sure he played, though.
Yeah, well, I thought he got a chance on a couple of those. When we were, anybody with a pulse would try back there.
Yeah.
For like a 3-game stretch when we started, I was after the Maryland game. It's like, all right, somebody's got to do a little bit better than this.
He might have gotten a lot of playing time in there, sure. I mean, why not? Everybody else was having a hard time with it. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Jordan Froller, obviously the starter, but he'll need some rest, and especially in these garbage games when we get up big, we're going to need some guys to get some experience that's going to be important down the road. Corner, this is a stacked fucking room, I'll tell you. There's nothing but stars abound in this room, man. So we know the incumbents. You got Arnett, Okuda.
I feel bad for some of these guys.
Yeah. Wade, I think we're going to see a lot of Sevyn Banks. I hope to see a lot of Tyreek Johnson and also Marcus Williamson. These guys, Banks, Williamson, and Johnson, we haven't seen much of yet other than special teams.
And that's some talent. That's some serious talent. And again, I know everyone thinks Okuda is the best guy we got, and I can't argue that point. But Shawn Wade is about to have himself a year, and Arnett has played his way beyond his eligibility. So we're going to need plenty of playing time for the guys you just mentioned. Sevyn Banks, Williamson, Johnson. Because next year, they all 3 might be starters.
Most likely, yeah. Wade, Okuda, and Arnett could definitely be gone. Crack! Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Wade enters the draft after this year, assuming he has a good year. He had a good year last year, led the team in picks, when they weren't even allowed to look back for the ball. So, with this new defense, I think this is just going to help the DBs more. And, like we talked about before, you're going to have these headaches with the young guys like Banks and Williamson and Tyreek Johnson, where they're going to get burned here and there. You just hope it doesn't cost you a game. We watched it with all the other great DBs that came through Ohio State. When they played early, they got torched once or twice. Garyon Conley.
Well, they always do because, Frank, with Garyon Conley, he started on that one Michigan State. He single-handedly lost the Michigan State game for it.
Right.
But, yeah, I think that's exciting for these young guys. It's like, hey, we are going to get you in as early as we can and give you some meaningful playing time because it's DBU and our DBs. If you're a 5th-year senior like Arnett, that's rare.
Right.
It's just rare.
That means you weren't good enough to go early. And Okuda's
right now,
he's going early.
The other thing that sucks is it's like you weren't good enough to start, but every person that played in front of you is in the league. So,
yep. I'm curious to see how Jeff Halfley runs this secondary. If they do a rotation like Ohio State has done in the past under Kerry Combs, or if maybe they keep these guys on the field a little longer, especially the starters like Arnett and Okudah. I'm really curious to see what happens there. Obviously, garbage time against FAU doesn't count. Obviously the second, third team's going to get in there because you got to get experience. So I'm just curious to see how Halfley runs this secondary. I think you have to keep some sort of regular rotation going.
I guess everything's a little bit unknown to me because I don't know what this new bullet position is. Essentially, I want to see how they use it. I got my idea of what it is, but I don't think anyone knows until we know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some of those young corners will get in, but corner's not a position that you're typically getting that tired out unless So I'm not a big fan of rotating those guys in and out.
Well, they're going to get tired, though. I mean, especially with some of these spread offenses that we're going to see, more and more every year. There's only a couple teams in the Big Ten that are really going to run old school type offense, like Wisconsin, and just bang you. Everybody's going spread now, so you got to keep multiple DBs on the field, more than just two anymore. Corners anyway, and safeties. So I think these young guys are just going to be forced into playing. Like Shawn Wade, he was a third corner last year, and he played in every game. Seemed like, right?
Right.
So I think we're going to see a lot of these young guys just out of necessity to keep them fresh, and to deal with, 3 and 4 wide receiver sets that are becoming more common. That is the 2 deep. Nailed it with very little pushback.
We're like 3. We're like 3 deep. That was the 3 deep.
Yeah, I think we won't see a 3D from Ohio State, but you got one here, folks. Buckeye Cast would only bring you that. Not getting that on the other bullshit podcasts. So
no.
let's. Are you comfortable with doing a score prediction for every game? Yes.
I could do that.
Yeah,
I could do that.
We're going to keep these, folks.
Why not?
I'm going to log these away, and we'll bust them out at the end of the year after the regular season and see who was right and who was wrong. I think we did that last year, right?
We did it. I don't think we did a recap of it, but
yeah, we should.
I nailed about every fucking one of them, so I would have won that.
Yeah, I thought
so. And I nailed first touchdown of the year, Terry McLaurin. I did nail that one last year. We'll have to do that too coming up. Who's going to score the first touchdown?
Ooh, I like that. We'll do that for our pregame for FAU next week.
Sounds good.
We'll do our version touchdowns. All right.
Maybe so you can even expand on that. First sack, whatever.
Yeah, first pick. All the good shit. Okay, so we got FAU coming in week 1. August. It's still August.
FAU.
This fucking month. Fucking football month. August 31st, noon. Fox is doing this game, by the way. So get good announcers at least, if nothing else. Ryan Day's first game as head coach. Good to see. Last year didn't really count. So we got the Fighting Lane Kiffins coming into Columbus. Not expecting much of a fight here. Buckeyes currently are 27-point underdog. Most of the books have them at that. And FAU just went 5-7 last year. The Owls of FAU.
But
all those Owls down in South Florida.
But Kiffin got them to 11-3 their first year. 5-7. Okay, you have a hiccup year your second year. I think this team is going to be in the AAU or wherever, Conference USA,
AAU.
wherever they play.
Yeah,
they're going to be a contender in that, I think. And I expect them to pull out all the stops. Come on, it's probably, I haven't looked at FAU's complete schedule, but Lane Kiffin's a fucking glory hound. Spotlight diva. This is probably his game of the year.
Yeah, you're going to see the complete Lane Kiffin playbook in its entirety.
Yes.
No matter if the plays work or not, he just wants to get on SportsCenter. This is going to be ugly. I think we bury that 27-point spread, and I definitely take the Buckeyes to cover easily. I see our second team putting up some points on them, actually. Their defense is awful. They were, 85th last year in points allowed, or yards allowed, 92nd in points allowed. Shit. It's going to be a good game to get Fields some experience and get comfortable with real bullets flying, at least, some kind of bullets. Just see the offense, get comfortable. See a lot of JK, easy dub.
I agree. I mean, this to me is going to be, what I'll have my eye on this game is, like you said, real bullets flying at Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. All right, we're playing grown-up football. It is against FAU, but it's still real football game.
I think.
Sorry, and all the pressure, the pressure that'll be on him to be Ohio State's quarterback will be more than the pressure that FAU gives him, and that's really what you have to compete with. It's not the team across from you; it's the pressure of your position. That's you're in a huge spot
in front of 105,000. Yeah,
right. And they know, everyone knows, and you know it yourself, Justin. If you're good enough, this team could be special, and set the tone early.
Yep, I know it. You know it. I'm going. I'm going to put my score out early. I'm going 56-10, and I'm logging these away. Okay, so I got them all locked in here, never to be lost.
Mine's already written down.
What do you got?
I got 54-10.
Ooh.
Yeah, you almost.
I sideswiped you.
You did.
Next, we got Cincinnati coming in, week 2. Coming into Columbus also, noon game. Obviously, this was the Luke Fickell's return to Columbus. Cincinnati, it's Cincinnati. Come on. Not too concerned. I realize they have a decent quarterback coming in. Still think the Buckeye defense is going to be out to prove a point this entire year, especially early on. And just the talent gap, dude. I don't want to hear about Luke Fickell coming in here to give the Buckeyes a scare week 2. Yeah, he wants to. It's not going to fucking happen. I'm going big. Let me find a spread for this real quick, if there is one. No, don't have one yet. I'm going Buckeyes. It's going to be a closer game than FAU. I'm going to go Buckeyes 38-17. Ooh, I don't like that. No. I'm going to go 38. I'm going 45-13. 45-13. How do you like that?
Well, I've been reading about this. I don't like that at all. I like your prediction. I hope it comes true. I'm not as optimistic as you. I think they're going to have some mojo. Bearcats were 11-2 last season. Their defense was really good in yards and points. Their quarterback was rookie of the year, and they got a running back that had 19 touchdowns. So I think this is a little bit of a scare game for us. and they come in here and some things happen and fickle mojo, and I got it closer than that, 31-24.
A touchdown game?
Touchdown game. This is the first game against a real defense that Fields is going to throw a couple picks, make a couple bad decisions, and against a capable defense, and it's going to be good for him. Okay. But this is going to be his first little bump in the road, if you will.
All right. I see you working. I get it. Yeah, they're going to play ball control. They're not going to want to give up big plays all day, that's for sure. I mean, Fickle, the defensive guy is going to... the talent gap, dude. I know Fickle can recruit, and he can eyeball talent better than most, but I can't, unless we really struggle week 1, which would be disgusting. I just can't see us being that close with Cincinnati. You can't see us getting blown out by Iowa or Purdue either. But this shit happens. I called the Iowa game, by the way.
I'm telling you,
Don't forget.
I'm an oracle on this shit.
Oracle.
This game,
I called the Iowa game.
And since he probably scores that 24 late, I think he puts that in as a trap game. But I don't think when we were making the call that you said Iowa wins that game.
No, I did. You're right. I didn't.
Yeah.
All right, week 3, Indiana. We're going to Bloomington. Another noon game. Get ready for it, folks. Get to Indiana early, because if you don't, the farmers will be out there on the roads, and you just can't get past those combines when they're rolling down the highway. First road game, first conference game. Yeah, last year, I know, blah, blah, we've had some close games with them. I don't see this being a challenge either, regardless of who their quarterback is. I know they're weighing a few different options over there. Peyton Ramsey, who's this Michael Penix Jr., he sounds like a NASCAR driver, and Jack Tuttle. Who knows who is going to start at quarterback for them? They do have the Buckeye flip, 4-star Samson James that flipped from Ohio State to Indiana. Somebody's going to have to explain that one to me. That's laughable.
Right.
I didn't know the Bagmen made it up to Indiana. I thought they were just in the South. So anyway, I'm sure he'll be starting as a freshman. Yeah, why not? It's Indiana. So I still think the Buckeyes have a huge talent gap here as well, probably even greater than the Cincinnati game. And I think we crush Indiana. I'm going to go... and by the way, this is going to be a running theme for the whole season. I think Ryan Day is out to prove a point that he's not Urban Meyer. And by throwing the ball a lot more, as we saw with Haskins, you're going to see higher scores. I think we're going to average more points under Ryan Day per game than under Urban Meyer. And I think this is a game that we're going to rack up some of those points. I'm going to go 59-24. I think the Indiana offense might actually move the ball a little bit.
Shawn, and I'll have to disagree with you.
All right.
I think they're not going to move the ball much. I think based on the week before, when I think Cincinnati hangs around for a little bit too long, that they get the shit together and the defense completely shows out in the first Big Ten game of the season, and the offense just plows through and does their stuff. I got 42-3.
42-3. Nice.
Not 40-3. 42-3.
6 touchdowns to 1 field goal.
That's right.
I was told there'd be no math. Okay. I could see that, no doubt. I forgot about that Stevie Scott running back. They have. Interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting for them to see who wins that quarterback job. What a cluster. Anyway, week 4.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if whoever wins that job can make it out of week 3 without being hurt.
Oh, you're going to see 2 quarterbacks.
D-line.
I'm setting the over-under at 1.5 for quarterbacks in the game. So Miami of Ohio.
Not based on they're losing by 8 touchdowns. They need another guy.
Right. Yeah. Injury issues. This guy's got his foot up his own ass. Game 4, you got Miami of Ohio coming into Columbus, get a nice little paycheck. I think it's like a 1.3, 1.4. Remember when it used to be like under $1 million? Now they're getting over $1 million for the Ohio schools.
That's not that bad a trip either. What, 2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours up to Columbus.
Hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah. So you got the Red Hawks coming in. Roethlisberger U coming into Columbus. Again, this is going to be another just beating. MAC teams, I don't want to hear about them being motivated by coming to Columbus and this is their Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. Buckeyes go big up into, I'm going to go 70-10. Buckeyes win big. Going away, I think Chugs and Gunnar Hoke all get in the game. I think we play 3 quarterbacks in this game.
Yeah, this to me is the cruise control game. It's the one game you can really overlook, if you will. And not that they will.
Yeah.
But talk about the disparity of talent. This is going to be painfully obvious in this game.
I agree, and I think you want to get healthy. You want to get your offense, humming, because next game is Nebraska.
Yep. You want to get it going, and why I think we score 62 is because I think that second team's going to come in and just hammer them as well.
I agree. What'd your score?
I got 62-17. I think we're going because I think probably 10 of those points come really late when there's true freshmen all over the field for Ohio State, and they get caught up in some silly shit. But I'd like to go 3 or that, but I think you're going to have a lot of freshmen. I mean, I'm expecting this fourth quarter to be almost entirely freshmen.
I agree.
On that field.
Yep, this is one of those weeks where you use one of those 4 games and decide who you're going to redshirt, off of this one. Definitely.
Right. I mean, this is to me the biggest freebie of them all. So anybody, that you're thinking about playing, get them in this game.
Exactly. Yeah. So here we go, week 5. This is when this shit really hits the fan. And unfortunately, the fans in Lincoln, Nebraska, where a lot of shit hits things. Going into Lincoln, Nebraska, first big challenge. We've heard all the hype about Nebraska. Blah, blah, blah. The fucking darlings of the Big Ten, especially the Big Ten West. Adrian Martinez. A lot of hype
Scott
around
Frost.
him. Scott Frost, yeah. We saw Adrian Martinez. I'm not sure I'd call him impressive. He can make plays, but I still think I'm going to rely on this Buckeye defense to really redeem itself this year and be out to prove a point, and I think they're going to do that, and especially against a guy getting all this hype, both Frost and Martinez. I think the defense comes in with a chip on his shoulder, and I think the Buckeyes lay it down. I think the only guy you got to be concerned about is J.D. Spielman. Buckeyes have to match up with him. He lit us up last year.
He did. But I feel Nebraska's they're still a year away at least, probably 2.
Yeah.
This isn't, I respect what Scott Frost did down there at UCF and turned them into like a legitimate football program. I mean, that's not easy to do. Mm-hmm. And now he's got the Nebraska behind him, with all their tradition and money and whatnot. There's a lot to be excited about if you're a Nebraska fan. I don't think they're quite there just yet. Mm-hmm. I haven't looked at their roster. Maybe they got a senior O-line or something like that. I mean, that's what it takes to do well in these things with this quarterback Martinez. Yeah. But this will be a test. Playing in Lincoln's always a bitch. Gosh, those Great Plains stadiums suck, man. It sucks.
Their fans come out. They fill that fucking stadium.
So, this is one that I don't know, because I have no idea what Nebraska is at this point. I don't know what they are. I really don't. I think their defense is not going to be good. I hear talk about Scott Frost and their quarterback, but I don't hear much about their defense. So I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here, but I think it is the Ryan Day. We're putting up points, and I'm going to go 48-28.
So going to give up some points. I'm going to go. I think this Nebraska defense is horrible. I don't know how they hang with our offense. We're not just going to fucking run the ball down their throats. We're going to move the ball all over the field, as we will be doing every week. I'm going to go big. And I know Adrian Martinez and the offense will score some, probably late. They'll probably keep their first teamers in there late. And I'm going to go Buckeyes. I'm going to go 51-21. And that's really based off their crappy defense. I gotta say, as much as I love ESPN, I love ESPN, right? I'm a big fan. These cocksuckers right now have their matchup predictor at 58% Ohio State to win. 58%. You gotta be kidding me, man. Have you looked at the rosters? Put the fucking rosters up. Put up the last 3 recruiting cycles. This is just laughable, man. Scott Frost isn't playing, right? He's not going out on the field? Come on.
No, but odds are we're going to lose one of these games, and I don't think it's going to be Nebraska.
No.
But it could be.
I think we lose.
At Nebraska?
No, I think we lose a game when we just play a tough opponent the week before. You don't lose a game after you just played fucking Miami or Indiana or something.
Miami?
Yeah. I just don't see it.
Which takes us to Saturday, October 5th. Because that Nebraska starts the meat of our schedule. This is the run you got to make.
Right.
You want to win the Big Ten, you got to run this little slate right here.
Yeah, especially Big Ten East teams. Go ahead, lay it out. I'm making a drink.
All right. So after Nebraska, we're going to night game back home, and in Columbus, night game, 7:30 p.m. kick against our beloved Michigan State Spartans.
Do we love them?
Michigan State Spartans. No, we don't. Michigan State's beaten us more than any other team in the Big Ten in the Urban Meyer era.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Nobody thinks about that.
No one does. And Michigan State, I believe, is flying a little bit under the radar. Their D was top 5 D last year. It all returns. Their D is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Their offense, they return like the whole O-line.
Yep.
That the Workie should have a better shoulder. And they've got a couple really good receivers. The running back situation, I don't know what that's all about, but it to them it's all on the Workie. If the Workie's arm is back, Michigan State might be all right. But D'Antonio somehow always gets his boys up to fucking play Ohio State, man. He does. And I read something. Was it? We haven't scored over like the last 4 years. Our highest point total against Michigan State's like 27 or 29.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, their defense.
That's our highest. I think.
Yeah. Their defense. Oh, there we go. Score. Their defense.
Oh, there it is. The Ohio State to 26 points or less in 6 of their last 8 matchups.
Yeah. They better bring some secondary help this year, though, dude. I'm not sure they got it. I don't think they got it under the hood. I know we're probably not going to see Rocky Lombardi this year. Darn it. But,
well, I think you'll. By this game, we'll either be seeing a lot of him or none of him, because either Lewerke will have proven that his shoulder's back,
right,
or if he's out there just limping around, throwing it like my sister, then he's done. But they're coming after the Nebraska game, a night game in Columbus.
Yeah,
and frankly, when they've beaten us in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee it's just the way Michigan State game goes. It'll be like hurricane conditions, gale for 20 to 30 mile an hour sustained winds with 45 mile an hour gusts.
They'll need that.
With about 38 degrees and raining.
Yep. They're going to need all of that. Because the last time they played us in good conditions, we fucking wiped the floor with them.
We did. They're mutters. Sparty's mutters, man.
Yep.
Their mothers were mutters. Their fathers were mutters. They play in the mud.
Exactly. They don't know what to do in good conditions, though. And a fast track.
No, they don't. I mean, well, few do in the Big Ten that we're going to play.
Yeah.
If you get us on a fast track. That's why I love going to that Big Ten championship game. That's a fast track.
Yep, exactly.
We've done pretty well when we get to that game, typically.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to go... I know this is going to be a hard-fought battle. I think this is going to be another classic defensive struggle. I went back and watched last year's game recently, and it was fucking disgusting because I think about the talent we had on the field, and we just couldn't move the fucking ball. And obviously, their defense has to be good every year because their offense is so horrible, especially last year. But
last year, I mean, Michigan State game, especially like their last two.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost like 9-6 in their bowl game,
right?
And like their last 3 games, they didn't score a touchdown. They're the hardest team to watch. Gosh,
right?
Painful.
I know. So yeah, I expect more of the same this year, and this is going to be a close one. I'm not predicting the Buckeyes to put up a 30-point blowout for sure. And this one is it's in Columbus. That helps. Night game, that's fine. I know that the teams are wearing their special jerseys for this one. Like Ohio State's bringing back the
black.
black.
They're black.
Yeah. So I'm going to go low scoring, tight. I'm going 31-21 Buckeyes. That's what I call low scoring.
I got it just a little bit lower than you at 31-17.
Ooh. So, yeah, you're expecting even less from their offense. I like that.
Well, they're going to have to prove something to me.
Yeah, let's see it on the field.
If their offense is the same as it was last year, I'd go 31-0.
Yeah. Right. All right, week 7. Wait a second. That's game 7. We got a bye week here after Sparty. So that's a very timely bye week to get ready for Northwestern.
That is.
Yeah, which is a Friday night game. Again, you know how I feel about these Friday night games. We pounded this one into the fucking turf. Big problem with this. This is disgusting. 8:30 at Northwestern. Are we going to this game?
I'm considering going to this game.
All right. I got a client up there in Chicago I can visit at the same time, like stay a couple extra days or something.
Write that off. Give me some press passes.
Yeah, we talk business.
Rip my shit off.
Yeah.
Well, would love to go to Ryan Field.
Would you?
I would. It's like 35,000.
Oh yeah.
And it's a little stadium, as I understand it.
Right.
At least for a couple years until that Big Ten, they just built an amazing football facility, like right on the lake.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
It's. I've seen pictures. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So I imagine, in a couple more years they'll be like, all right, let's make a badass stadium.
Right.
But I don't know. You got like the little Ryan Field, a small college feel to it.
Is that still grass? It's probably still grass. I have a feeling
I'm
is.
guessing. I'm thinking so.
Perfect. That shit's going to be fucking 10 inches long.
So
they're going to grow
you
that
still
shit
call
out.
it field.
Yeah, exactly.
They will try.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pat Fitzgerald's teams, they'll play smart, play sound. They'll be halfway through the season. We're coming off a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
If this wasn't, if we didn't have a bye week and went from Saturday night to Friday night at Evanston, I would say this is a trap game. But I feel like we got too much talent.
Yeah.
Way too much to overcome this.
Exactly. If we didn't have the bye week, I would be very concerned. But as it works out, we do, and no lack of focus here. I think the team is dead set on this game. I don't give a shit if Hunter Johnson is starting for Northwestern. He hasn't started a real game in college football, so he's going to have to prove it on the field before I'm a believer. We beat him up pretty good in the Big Ten championship game, and that was with what's his name, Thorson, and that guy held quite a few records in Northwestern's football annals. So I feel good about Buckeye defense going against this team. We could roll. I know Pat Fitzgerald's teams are tough and all that, and well disciplined, blah blah blah. But I think we roll, and I don't know if they score a touchdown on us. Honestly, I could see them putting up a couple field goals without us turning the ball over. I go Buckeyes 41-6. That's what I'm feeling.
I got Buckeyes 45-10.
Ooh.
So same spread. You had 41-6.
Yep. Logging this away. All right. Here's where we get into the tough shit. Wisconsin coming into Columbus. Bringing the Badgers in. Paul Christ and his cocksuckers. So we know what's going to happen here. This is going to be Jonathan Taylor left, Jonathan Taylor right, Jonathan Taylor up the middle. Don't know who their quarterback is yet either. Apparently, Graham Mertz, the freshman, highly touted 4 or 5 star. I know the Buckeyes went after him. Versus Jack Cohn, who is not good. So we'll see what happens with their quarterback position, but it's meaningless because they're just going to run the fucking ball anyways. You know, Taylor went for almost 2,000 yards last year. This guy's a nut job. Did he go over 2,000? He did almost 2,000 2 years in a row, right? Holy shit, am I reading this right?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
1977 and 2194.
Oh, my God. Hopefully he's worn down at this point. I think he's had too many carries on his body. I think he's beat up.
Well, we'll see. If we're running the same defense as last year, he's going to run for 300 on us.
Yeah.
But I think we'll have something in line for these guys. I think Wisconsin's kind of down, even though they got probably their best running back they've had in at least a decade. I don't know how their O-line is. If that's all together, shouldn't they lose at least someone high in the draft? Like there was one whiskey kid that was a decent prospect.
Last name was Watt.
O-lineman.
Oh. We missed the spreads on the last couple games. Anyway, the official spread right now is at 10. Buckeyes are favored by 10.
Against Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll lay on that. I think Wisconsin's going to be in deep trouble.
Yeah. They're going to try ball control, run the clock, keep it close. Not sure that's going to happen, though. I'm going Buckeyes because I think their defense is weak. I'm going Buckeyes. Tempted to go up to the 59, but I'm going to go
59-0.
Yeah,
so repeat of that.
Yeah. For some reason, that's clicking in my brain, but I'm going to go 51-17. Filing that away. 51-17 is what I got. Never close.
All right, so I'm just picking a game here that I expect us to blow these guys out, but this is where a young quarterback's going to get mind fucked and have a bad game.
Ooh.
Whiskey's going to come in here. Been on a couple night games. Whiskey's coming to join us. We're going to be little, big, fat, and happy. And these guys are going to push us to the fourth quarter. And they're going to score late. And 28-24 Ohio State.
28-24, oh. They're not even going to cover?
No.
Wow.
I'd like to say that they will. But I'm trying to get my crystal ball out, and we got to have a bump in the road.
You're going to break my streak of taking Ohio State in the points.
Hey, I hope you're right. But I'm a realist, a pragmatist.
Yeah.
And we're gonna stumble somewhere in here. Not necessarily lose, but have a shitty game. We're like, what the fuck was that?
Yep.
And it's going to be in week 9. It's going to be in week 8 versus Wisconsin, which is the perfect place for it to happen. Then you get your shit together. You come back. You got Maryland, who you're going to be pissed off because what they almost did to you the year before.
So maybe the Wisconsin game is the trap game this year.
Very well could be.
Coming off Northwestern on a weird Friday night game. Not prepared. Maryland was kind of a trap game last year, honestly, you could say. Shouldn't have been. Went to overtime.
Would we play them after Michigan State or after?
That was a week before Michigan.
Oh, Maryland was?
Yeah.
So then, all right, that's with Wisconsin. Now on to Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
You, it looks like, have a bye in here as well between Wisconsin and Maryland.
Yeah, we do. So that actually kind of makes the Wisconsin game not a trap game.
Well, you're not looking ahead, but
you kind of are. You're like, all right, let's get through these two tough games, Northwestern and Wisconsin. Then, we'll take a break, reconvene, and be fine. Lick our wounds. That's why I think Wisconsin's not a trap game, because of this weird bye week. And that's why I think Maryland is definitely not a trap game. It's not coming to me. I'm not seeing a trap game yet. Last 2 years it's come to me pretty obviously. I'm just not finding it right now.
If North, no, we got the bye before the Northwestern.
Yeah.
That would be the trap game. It still might be.
You could say
Northwestern's any good, but I just don't.
Yeah, you could say they walk into any game like sleepwalking and like not ready, but there's no setup the week prior, So anyway, Maryland just have to hold down Anthony McFarland to under 300 yards. I think we'll be fine, right?
I think so.
They got their new head coach, Mike Loxley. He's going to recruit some people. That program's going to get better, folks. Keep an eye on them. Not saying they're going to win the fucking East or anything like that, but they're going to pull some kids in from that DMV area, and Mike Loxley is a good recruiter. So look for them to get better. Fucking not far from passing Penn State at this point in the Big Ten East, in my opinion. But I think the Buckeyes roll in this game. As long as they hold Booger McFarland under $150, I think we'll be all right. No quarterback of note to worry about there. Defense is terrible.
Well, I got redemption on the hands of the defense coming in this game. I think a lot of these guys played in that game, and I think our offense shows out too. I got us matching our high that I have us for so far on the year, going 62-10.
Ooh, nice.
Blowout.
Oops. I'm going Buckeyes. I'm going 59-13. But yeah, I agree with the redemption. Redemption is spelled R-O-N. Google it. All right. Game 10, Rutgers. Another fucking easy game. Chris Ash, this poor bastard. I don't know why he ever took this job. They're never going to fire him.
No, I heard they might fire him after this year if he doesn't win.
They can't afford his buyout, dude. They are short on cash. They have problems.
What, they're getting that Big Ten money too? How the fuck do they have problems?
They're not putting it back in the program. That's the problem. Line in fucking pockets of presidents and board members. Yeah, I don't think this is a fucking trap game either. People are going to say you got Penn State coming up. This is fucking Rutgers, dude.
I agree. Rutgers is Rutgers, and they'll probably be just them and Miami are the two worst teams on our schedule. I feel.
Yeah. I realize this is in New Jersey, but it doesn't matter. You could play it anywhere. This is gonna be ugly early, and you're gonna see the depths of the Ohio State roster in this game.
Yeah, because I feel like even Urban would blow out Ash, but Urban, I felt, even took it easy on Ash. Mm-hmm. Ryan Day and Ash weren't together.
Nope.
Ryan Day doesn't have any of those feelings.
Nope.
So I got Ohio State scoring their most points of the year.
Oh.
And pitching their first shutout, 70-0.
Wow. Look at you. I was close. I went 66-12. I think they get 4 field goals. They must. I think they have a good.
Crossed the 50. I don't think they crossed the 50.
Yeah, they got a good kicker. All right, here we go. The home stretch. Penn State, Week 11, in Columbus. This is always a big one. It's always a close one. We do have a spread for this. Buckeyes favored by 11 in the shoe. We all know the last couple of years, Buckeyes defense, we've seen them get burnt. McSorley and company. And then, it's taken some late game heroics by JT and Haskins to really pull the game out. But going into the fourth quarter losing has been the story for the last 2 games. So I think defense shows up.
Yeah, I say we put an end to that shit.
Exactly. I think this is another one of those revenge games the defense is thinking. Maybe they got it marked on their calendar. And I think they just got to shut down that KJ Hamler. I don't see anybody else on that team worth worrying about offensively. Do you?
No, I'm kind of with you. I think their talent rests on the defensive side of the ball.
Running backs are gone. Quarterbacks are gone.
I don't know about their O-line, which is obviously huge. No, they've picked up some talent the last couple of years in recruiting, so they're going to have some quality kids. Franklin, will have his kids ready, but there's too many variables with that team this year. I think I got Buckeyes 35-10.
35-10. All right. I got Buckeyes 41-17. I think it's not close at all throughout the game. I just think, the offensive talent gap here is holding back the Knits. So, especially being in Columbus, not good. Here we go, Week 12. You know the game. We go up to that horror, Ann Arbor. Michigan still favored. I just checked this moments ago. Buckeyes 3-point underdog still. I already locked that in. I locked that in months ago.
At 3?
Yep. Yeah, I got in there after they dropped it. That 6-point and 6.5-point spread wasn't there very long. It dropped like in the first week. So yeah, had to take the 3. We've heard all the same bullshit we've heard about everybody else. This is their time to win. They're due. Blah blah blah. Same shit we hear about Nebraska. There's the national media's darling. I don't think they get it done. I don't think we lose this game. I don't give a shit who's coming in to run Michigan's offense. I could see Harbaugh hijacking the fucking controls early on, and they revert to double tights and a fullback.
Right. Well, it's all going to depend on what they're coming into this game. If they've got 2 losses coming into this game, then yeah, they're going to be running Harbaugh shit.
Yeah. Well, that plays right into my plans. I got Michigan under 9.5 wins. Some sports books have them at 10.5. I'm trying to find those.
Michigan is going to be more talented than every team they play until they play us. They've got more talent on the field. We've got a veteran O-line. That O-line is going to be the best O-line you've seen out of Michigan in at least a decade, probably 20 years. They're all juniors, seniors. Most of them are 3-year starters. They're all big recruits, big-name kids. They don't have a running back. Not really sold on Shea Patterson, but Don Brown defense. Michigan is going to be a really good team this year. Are they great? Who knows? Harbaugh has never been able to win a big game, so Michigan could have 3 losses. You get in a close match against Notre Dame, close game against Sparty, or against Penn State, or any of these other teams, and those are the games that Harbaugh will lose. I'm with you. We're not losing this game, and this is going to be the straw that breaks Michigan's back.
Mm-hmm.
It's all set up for them to win. I'm up here. They all expect to win it this year. There's no next year. They know next year they're fucked. Our team's so young, and they're going to Columbus next year.
Yeah.
And their whole line, like I said, is studs. Yeah, 3 or 4 of them are gone next year.
Yeah.
To the NFL or graduation.
Right.
This is their do or die moment, and they're not going to. This is going to be a glorious, glorious Ohio State victory.
Yeah. I think this is what I'm looking at. You got 2 former Michigan defensive coaches coming over to the Buckeyes staff. I think that shouldn't be underrated or undersold. I think that's a big deal, especially with, like you mentioned, all of the guys returning on Michigan's offense. I think that could be a hindrance because I think the defensive coaches know enough on how to beat that Michigan team. I don't care who's coming in to run Michigan's offense. Like I said earlier, it doesn't fucking matter. I still think they're not gonna be that drastically different. We saw the speed difference on the field last year. On both sides of the ball, not just Ohio State's receivers versus Michigan DBs. Both sides of the ball, we saw Ohio State's defense hawking down guys in the backfield, tackles for loss, Shawn Wade laying out tight ends, separating them from the ball. I think this is close. It's definitely close because it's in Ann Arbor. I'm going Buckeyes 27-24, but only because it's up there.
All right, I like it.
Close game. Gets close at the end, but the win is never in doubt.
Going a little different on this one. I think Ryan Day embraces this moment. I think Harbaugh and his team are tight as can be. and I think we jump out and get on them early again, and put it on them again. Not to the tune of 69 to whatever, but to the tune of like 48-21.
Ooh. You're expecting their defense to not show up at all.
Well, we'll see.
I
think this is, this Ryan Day understands the moment, and to win that in his first year, I mean, shit, that just buys you 5 years.
Oh, for sure. Michigan doesn't really have much leading up to that game. I mean, they do have Sparty 2 weeks prior to the Buckeyes, but that's in Ann Arbor. And again, like we touched on with Michigan State, don't expect much from their offense. Then they go to Indiana. Doubt that's going to be much of a barn burner. So I look for them to be healthy and probably geared up for the Buckeye game. I will have my eyeballs on that Notre Dame game, which is 5 weeks prior. I want to see.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. They got a non-conference game in the middle of the schedule.
Right. Yeah. So I want to see how they play against similar talent. They got Penn State and Notre Dame back to back. Penn State's away. Like we touched on, Penn State's not really offensively going to be intimidating at all. But it's in their place.
They're going to have a game. They got enough young talent where Penn State's they're going to surprise some people. The Big Ten, top to bottom, is what do we got in the Big Ten as far as games this year? Rutgers, gimme.
Yeah.
Consider Indiana, and I want to say Maryland, but fuck, after last year, no.
Right.
All these teams are going to play, and to maintain your focus over 12 games is. I mean, look, how many times has it ever happened at Ohio State?
Right.
Herb did it once when it didn't count.
Tressel did it once.
But it's not easy to do.
Well, I will say what's on our side this year, which is unusual, is we don't have one of those tough non-conference games. Like, we were supposed to play TCU this year,
right?
But they backed out. They would have come to Columbus, though. So, not sure that would have been a tough game, but it definitely would have been tougher than, say, Miami of Ohio. I think that's who filled in for that TCU game. So, yeah, that makes this Ohio State schedule substantially easier by not having an Oklahoma or a Texas or USC on the schedule,
Right, but the way the SEC's doing it, I mean, does that get us anything?
Compared to the SEC, no, because we play 9 conference games. They only play 8. And their 4 non-conference games are garbage.
Exactly. So
no, our schedule is.
I don't know the value in it. Even though I love the Oklahoma Ohio State or the Ohio State Texas or Ohio State USC regular season home and home type stuff, but is it worth it?
I think it is. I think it's good to be challenged and to show you're willing to schedule tough games. Obviously, depends on what happens in those games, though. You can't predict that, especially how far out they schedule these games. Like, we had no idea we were going to lose to fucking Va-Tech in 2014, but we did. But Va-Tech was good that year, so that's why we got into the fucking playoff, and we lost early on.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we barely made it in.
The thing is, it just makes it so much harder on a Big Ten team to get in. Look, I love to play again in Oklahoma and lose to them early, and you still got a chance. You're not done, but you got to run the table. Where if you don't play in Oklahoma, okay, you can have a loss to Purdue or Iowa and still potentially get in, but you can't have a loss to Oklahoma and a loss to one of those other teams. It's like there's zero room for error.
I think you can lose a conference game. It just can't be a blowout by 20 or 30 points to somebody that's 7-5 or 6-6. But I think you can take a loss in conference and still get to the playoffs. It just can't be horrible.
You can too. You just can't take, but you can't take that loss on top of an Oklahoma loss that you took early.
Yeah.
Even if it is close, you can't have two.
Definitely can't have two. So that's a good rundown. I like that. I love the score predictions. So we're going 12-0, right?
I think that's the way it looks.
Phil Steele said we had the 17th.
Get your money in on.
Yeah. Phil Steele said we had the 17th toughest schedule in the country. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm just blinded by these easy non-conference games, but I don't think the Big Ten is any tougher than any previous year. I really don't see it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I saw that text or Twitter that you sent where we play 6 teams in the preseason top 25.
Yeah.
Which is second. I think Michigan played 7 probably because they have Notre Dame.
Right.
And then I see teams like Clemson and USC played 2. It's like,
right.
Fuck.
Yeah, and the SEC teams are playing a couple.
They are like Auburn in that. I think we might have been tied with Auburn with 6, but then Bama's only playing 4.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Not much you can do about it, from year to year. You can't really change your schedule around to make it tougher. So it's just the way shit happens. And again, these preseason polls, I hate. I think they're useless, and I wish they would just stop doing them. Because you can't tell me that somebody's better than us right now, without seeing Justin Fields play, without seeing, the defense play. How do you know that Michigan's better than us right now? You can't say that. So.
Well, that's what Vegas wants to do. They want to show you them odds, pollsters, what they think. And you know what? They do a decent job because the job is actually pretty easy. It's like, okay, guess what? Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia are all going to be really good. Okay, so, and who else has been recruiting well and got some stuff going on? It's once in a while they totally blow it. Now have a top 5 team that doesn't even finish in the top 25. But for the most part, it's kind of what everyone knows. And you know what? I can't say anybody is better than Ohio State right now because we haven't seen Fields play. But I can't say we're better than anybody because we haven't seen that kid play. What I do know is that we're loaded everywhere else. And he doesn't even have to be a world beater. He just has to be a solid kid, and we're going to do all right.
Yeah, I think we're in good shape.
Which I hope they get through to him. You don't have to win the Heisman your first year at Ohio State.
So we got real football next Saturday. We got the Canes and the Gators.
Oh, really? Like a serious game?
Yep. Saturday night, 7 p.m. And after that, you got Arizona at Hawaii. Unfortunately, we're not going to see Tathan starting at quarterback for the Canes. This is in Orlando, actually. They're playing this game. Maybe we'll see Tathan at the slot. I think he waited too long. He could have been playing H-back at Ohio State right now.
Doesn't sound like he wanted to make a switch.
Well, nobody wants to ever, I'm sure, but he just waited too long to make the switch. He didn't see the writing on the wall. He thought he was going to go down to Miami and win that job, and just didn't happen.
The thing is, what do you think? I mean, this time last year, you thought he was a shoo-in for the Ohio State job. Now he can't even go down. First of all, he can't even. He doesn't want to compete with the kid that's coming in that's never played college football, essentially. And then he goes to Miami and can't win that job. I'm like, what? What did Herb see in this kid? Other than I think the kid's got amazing heart and leadership and like mad mojo, like
feet,
impromptu skills.
Yeah,
but he can't. I don't think a kid can throw.
Right, that's the thing. He's a runner. He's a running quarterback that has big game ability, big game breaking ability, but that's it. He's not going to light up the scoreboard.
He never lost a game in high school, ever.
Right. But he didn't throw a lot either. Look at his size. I would just looked at his measurables and made my decision from that. Maybe Herb was thinking position change down the road once he got to Ohio State after a couple of years, but And that's where I think Tate fucked up. He should have stayed and considered a position change a year ago. I mean, look at what Braxton did just over a fall camp. Braxton decided in a few months' time to become a receiver. Did okay. I mean, I realized he actually just got cut by the Eagles today, but he was in the fucking league, man, for a couple of years. Tate's future in the league is not a quarterback. Never was.
Right.
He should have known that coming out of high school. And people should have told him that. That's why you make the position change.
Right. But some kids, hey, I'm the quarterback.
Big difference between high school and college.
I kind of got to side with the kid though. Like, hey, you know what? You've never played me, but anytime a coach has ever played me, I've never lost a game ever.
Right.
So until I do lose a game, I'm the fucking quarterback.
I respect the confidence for sure. I got no problem with it. But when you get to a big time program like Ohio State, you got to realize that you got to see the talent around you and be like, okay, I'm definitely not gonna play quarterback on this type of level. Look at Joey Burrow. He fucking transferred to an SEC program, a top tier program, and starts immediately.
Right.
He wasn't going to start in front of Joe Burrow at Ohio State. That's when
I don't think so.
That's when I would have made the position switch when you realize the depth chart. Like I'm 3 back from the starter, and I don't look anything like a Haskins or a Joe Burrow. Talent-wise.
Right.
That's when he should have just stayed at Ohio State. He could be fucking pressing, the H-backs for playing time at the slot or something, Kid's got the shakes. Get the ball in his hands. That's all you got to do. I'd do that. Fucking give him 10 touches a game.
Well, I think, in the Urban Meyer era, that's to have a kid like Tate Martell was super sexy. Like, oh, wow, all right.
Right.
He's a little smaller than Tebow, but he can run. And, Herb loves them runners.
Right. Almost to a detriment, I would say.
Oh, I think so. I mean, but he won 3 national championships.
Yeah. Gatorade Player of the Year. I know. Tate was Gatorade Player of the Year, won national championships every year in high school. He waited too long to make that position change. Self-awareness. Anyway.
Yeah, but if Herb's telling you one thing, and I mean, come on, Herb was putting packages in.
Sure. To keep
that was quarterback. So I mean,
that was to keep Tate.
So why? I mean, yeah, but I mean, if your coach is like putting in packages for you at quarterback, of course, never letting you throw the ball. Every play is a run play. But I don't know. I guess you're the guy until you're not the guy.
Anyway, folks, we fucking dragged that thing out all night, didn't we? Hope you had a few cold ones. I know I did.
I did.
I can barely see my hand in front of my face. So anyway, you know the deal. Subscribe, review us. Don't forget, we got that t-shirt contest coming out. I'm not going to tell you when. You just have to fucking follow us on Twitter and find out. First 3 people to retweet, get the fucking shirt. Any shirt they want off the website. Any size you want. Go fucking XXL. I don't care. Put your whole family in it. Shawn, thank you for the marathon episode. I think we really accomplished a lot.
I'm glad you think so.
That makes one of us. We got a 2 deep hammered out. Hopefully the coaches will listen and take notes. I'm sure they did. And then we got our predictions for the season. I'm sure the coaches listened to that.
The Cliff Notes version is we're bullish on the Buckeyes.
Yeah, exactly. It hasn't changed one iota, folks. But anyway, be ready. Here we come. This is weekly now. Back in. This is season 4 of the Buckeye Cast, right? We are back, better than ever, and we're going to hit you every week throughout the season. Plus, we'll hit our, what do we call them, our extra points on Monday after the game. Give you a little quick, short segment of our response to the game, you know, and
me, I'm a pessimist, so I only like to do the talking points to rip on, even if we wanted to rip on some shit that I saw I didn't like.
Yeah, Sky is Falling episode. So, all right, we will.
Don't let me. I'm looking at you, Tough Borland.
Yeah, square in the crosshairs. Anyway, have a good week, and we will talk to you later. Hope you win a T-shirt. Shawn, thank you, and good night.
Yes, sir. All right.
Later.